Graham, thank you so much for joining me. It's lovely to
Oh,
have you here.
thank you for asking me. How are you? Everything all
Yes,
right?
well, you tell me, how am I? You're the mentalist, you're the mind reader. How am I?
I don't know. I'm not a mind reader,
I do.
but you look well.
We're going to prove that you are a mind reader, actually. We're going to have some fun. So, listen, how do you describe yourself when you describe yourself?
Well, first and foremost, I like to describe myself as an entertainer, but I use a mixture of magic, what we call mentalism, suggestion, and bring all these elements together to provide an entertaining experience. It's a journey. Hopefully, it will amuse people. It will make people think, create a little bit of wonder. I like people to go away and ask themselves the question, is it really possible to read minds, or is something else happening?
Yeah,
I
it's
think
good.
that's my, I'd like the audience to make up their own mind. There was a famous two-person mind reading act many years ago, who at the end of their act would say, you be the judge. And I think that's nice. I don't forcibly push the idea of mentalism at people. It's a form of entertainment.
Yeah, true. Fantastic. And were you always fascinated by mentalism, or was it magic? And actually, I'll come back to the
Uh,
question, the difference later.
yeah,
But
it seems to be the age of 7 where certain children are attracted to magic. I mean, there's lots of kids at 7 who hate magic, but when I was 7, I just loved it. There was a gentleman on television called Al Quran. In fact, I'm writing a book about Al Quran at the moment in collaboration with someone else. I don't know if you can see him. There's the picture of Al,
right, okay, yeah, he looks
and
like a magician, doesn't he?
yeah, and he was a mentalist. Oh, that's me when I was young.
Oh yeah, looking good.
Yeah, I was a sort of a cross between Austin Powers, Stephen Hawkins, and Yves Saint Laurent. Quite a mixture. Anyway, I was I was very popular. I was I loved Al Quran, and he did this mind reading act and Chan Canastra at the same time. And I suppose I was doing magic, what we call conventional magic. Well, you know a magician. You know if you're watching a magician straight away. With a mind reader, you're never quite sure. But with a magician, it's obvious. They take a small piece of rope, a medium-sized piece of rope, and a long piece of rope. And they sort of bring the ends up together like this. And they make some extraordinary gesture. And the ropes are all the same length again. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Well, if you see this sort of thing, and then they're all this different lengths again, you know you're watching a magician. But with a mentalist, it's never that clear. For instance, I'm going to ask you in a moment, Maria, to name a card. But before you name your card, I'm going to name your card Gary. I'm going to name your card Gary. Do you like chess?
No,
Perhaps
I
not.
don't actually.
But I'm going to name your card Gary.
I never
Maria,
learned to
when I
play.
flip
I
my,
never learned to play chess. But yes, go on. My card is called
that's
Gary.
good
Go
going.
on.
Okay, your card is called Gary. I'm going to flip my finger, just name the first card that comes to your mind now.
10 of diamonds.
10 of diamonds. Now that's extraordinary. There's the pack of cards. I hope you can see these clearly. I'm going to remove your card, the 10 of diamonds. There it is. And place it on the table. Now, I named your card, Gary, before you named your card, because the backs of the cards are named. They all have a name on them. For
Yeah.
instance, we have Mike, Bill,
Are they all male, these cards,
Scott.
Graham?
No, there's a few ladies. Jay, Jim, Mark, Reg, Ruth, Jack, Jane. They're all different names.
Fantastic.
John. But you named the 10 of diamonds, and I said I'd name your card Gary.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. I'll tell you what's even more amazing for anybody that's listening or watching is that we did a quick sound check, and you did this little trick with me when we did the sound check and tech check. And I've changed my card deliberately because I
Yeah, I thought you did. I can tell by your facial expressions.
did
But
you know that?
Yes, I
That's
had a
good.
feeling. But let's try something slightly different. When I
Mm.
flick my finger, name the first card that comes to your mind, but make it a difficult card. Don't think of a card which you might think, oh, well, I suppose everybody thinks of that card. Well, I don't think of the Queen of Hearts, for instance.
No, don't. I thought of the Queen of Hearts.
You did. Well, don't think of the Queen of Hearts. Just when I flick my finger, just name the first card that comes to your mind. Now,
Three of Spades.
the Three of Spades. Well, there's a pack of cards. I'll just remove them from the box. You named the Three of Spades.
I did.
You'll notice that one card in the middle is reversed.
Yes.
Just one card. You thought of the Three of Spades.
I did.
Which is uncanny.
Fantastic.
It's the very card I reversed.
So this is like a mixture, isn't it, of magic and mind reading? Is that what?
So
mentalism is, yeah?
I'm combining the two. I mean, there are mentalists who will insist that they're using some power. I don't. I'm just using sort of skills like observation, understanding probability. The likely cards to be chosen. I mean, I said, don't choose the Queen of Hearts. You did. I had no control over that. So when I say to you, think of another card, you tend to go the other end of the extreme. Like you wouldn't think of the Jack of Hearts, which is right next door to it, or the Ten of Hearts. You go right down to the bottom. So you might think of the two or the three. And you might say, well, what happens if I said the Two of Spades? Well, then I would do something else. I haven't got 52 different outcomes, but
goodness, that's amazing. Oh, that's really clever. So, if you're wanting to start out to be a mentalist or a magician, I mean, you know, some of us are no longer 7. Is it too late to start when you're older?
No, I think certainly mentalism, as it's called. This is a new word. Mentalism is something which suits a person which is slightly more mature. I mean, I couldn't imagine watching somebody of 17 or 18 doing a mind reading act. It's an older person's act because you're supposed to have experience and understanding of people and creating empathy. So I think it suits. It suits an older person. But I think an understanding of magic would help with your presentational skills and being able to, not the word deal, but to feel comfortable with an audience.
I think
because at the end of the day, it has to be entertaining. I always had a great admiration for Yuri. I mean, everybody has a theory about Yuri. I don't think he ever caused any harm. What did he do? Bend things, tell people what they were thinking. Oh, thank you, Lloyd. Which reminds me. Oh, a cup of tea. Thank you very much, Lloyd. Thank you. Those of you at home, people at home, if you have a spoon, just get hold of it, would you? And hold it in your hand like this and rub it gently. Just rub it gently.
Okay, so for those of the people listening on the podcast who can't see it, you're rubbing your teaspoon gently and there's some weird stuff happening.
And concentrate and will the spoon.
Oh my goodness, it's bending in front of my very eyes. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, what happened there?
Oh, you broke a glass as well. Oh
the wine glass broken.
Oh, that's
this
really
is sort of, I don't know if this is something going on in this room. Anyway, I wonder how many of you at home experience anything.
Oh, please don't tell me my watch has stopped.
No.
That was weird. So actually, it'd be interesting if people have experienced something to let us know. That would be fascinating. Because famously, when Yuri did things like this, people's watches stopped, people's cutlery bent, and all sorts. How does that work? Did that really happen, or do we?
I think it did. I mean, it's very difficult to know exactly what Yuri was up to. I personally think he did have some psychic skills. I remember when I was living in Norwich many years ago, I did this bending business in a radio station, and a policewoman came into the station banging on the window saying, look, my car keys are bent, so it can happen to anybody. I think maybe some people have got keys which are already bent and they haven't noticed, and someone's drawn attention to the fact. I don't know, but I have seen Yuri and other people bend things, and as far as I can see, there is no evidence of fraud. But I always say, in any aspect of life, just because there's no evidence of fraud doesn't mean to say there isn't fraud. So we just don't know. I think it's very interesting, then. I think it's exciting, and it brings something into our lives,
Fantastic.
from the mundane. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay,
But
wonderful.
I was very lucky when I was young. I was helped by a man called Sidney Smith, who was never a professional magician. He had a normal business, but after school, I used to go around to his shop, and he used to teach me practically everything I know. And I owe a lot. To Sidney.
Fantastic.
In fact, he was a very good friend of Al Quran. Yeah.
So listen, let's come into the modern day with some names
Yes.
that because these are characters from the past that many of
Yes.
us may not know. So hopefully the people, they will know that I would love to talk to you about. So you famously fooled Penn and Teller. So tell me, how do you even go about thinking? I mean, these guys, they've been around, they know their stuff, they're very talented. How do you even think about fooling them? How long did it take to come up with it?
A very good question. I was approached to do this program a few years ago, and my initial response was, no, I don't want to do it, because they had a competitive edge, And I don't like the word fool. I never say I'm going to fool people. I don't do it. But I was persuaded to do it, and I sat down, and I was frankly worried. I did not want to go on there and do something and then comment, oh, we think you're very good, especially for your age, but we're not fooled, bye-bye. I mean, that's quite humiliating. Would be for me. Everybody said, oh, don't worry, Graham. It's not a case of whether you fool them or not. It's wonderful exposure. Well, yes, but I didn't want that sort of exposure. I wanted to come off stage feeling good about myself. And I said, what would fool Penn and Teller? As you say, they know most brilliant magicians. It would be no good doing sleight of hand, because it wouldn't matter how well you did the sleight of hand. I'm trying to think of an example. It wouldn't matter. I don't know if you can see that card.
Card? It's not a great image. I can see the card, but I can't see what's on it.
Oh, never mind. But you can see something in my hand. If I make it disappear and make it,
yes.
If I do this, it doesn't matter how well I do it. I did that rather badly.
So for our listeners, you made it disappear and made it reappear, right? Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Penn and Teller would say, "Oh, you did that very well," but they know what you were doing. So I had to do something which was mathematical, because mathematics is invisible. You can't see mathematics. So I went through some old books, and I found something. I must admit, the effect, we call it effect, I did, was not mine. It was a man called Simon Aronson, who is a lawyer in America. You get a lot of people doing magic who don't do it professionally. They all come from the legal profession. It's extraordinary, isn't it?
It's very interesting.
Really interesting. I don't think what's the name of the American comedian? George Carlin. There was a lawyer, wasn't there? George Carmen. I think he liked magic. Anyway, I saw this in a book, and I practiced it. I showed it to a lot of magician friends. I went to the magic circle on Monday night and said, "What do you think of this?" And they said, "Oh no, you couldn't do that. It's too procedural. It's too much procedure. We're all trying to eliminate procedure. We don't want procedure. We just want think of a card and here it is." But I said, "Yeah, but I can inject my personality into it." And they said, "No, it's a lot of dealing of cards." Anyway, I did it and it fooled them. But I also did another thing. I did a thing I'm well known for with the snooker balls in a box.
With Jonathan Ross, wasn't it?
Jonathan Ross.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I love it. And you did it with my dad. And what was amazing,
your dad, yes.
For his birthday party, what was fascinating there is my father's colourblind. And yet you got, because it's a trick where you're putting snooker balls into different pockets and you're guessing which ones they are. And so when you're saying to him, which one, where did you put the red one? He's got no idea, because he doesn't know what colour red is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. And you got it right. You didn't know he was colourblind.
Well, I'm not. I'm honored, obviously.
Well, but it worked.
I was thrilled. I was thrilled to fool them. Then
Yes.
a few years ago, I did the One Show, and I spoke about Chan Canasta, who was another well-known magician. So it's all great fun.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
But I think with Penn and Teller, sorry to interrupt, but with Penn and Teller, it's sometimes easier to bewilder or fool a magician than it is a non-magician.
Oh, I don't know.
Because if I meet a non-magician, I don't know what they know. They might know a few things. And non-magicians guess. People guess. And if they guess, like a child guesses, if you show a handkerchief to a child, put it in your hand, it disappears, they're going to say it's up your sleeve. And it might be. An older person or a highly intelligent person, I mean, you get highly intelligent children, I'm not saying that, but a person who's very academic will think, well, it can't be up his sleeve because he had his sleeves rolled up. But a child will eliminate that. He said, but my sleeves were rolled out. He said, oh, it doesn't matter. So it's interesting. You've got to pick the right trick for the magician.
Fantastic.
Hopefully, because you like mathematics, don't you? You like mathematical things.
I love mathematics, and I don't know if you're able to share with us because one of your favourite, what do I call it? Mind reading.
Yeah.
Things is a mathematical experiments. It's a mathematical one.
Well, I thought you might. It's funny. I thought you might.
It's my favourite. I love this. Yes, I do.
Shall we
I
try
love numbers. Let's try it. Obviously, if you're listening, you're going to have to watch the video to see this, but it's one of my favourite experiments. So go on then, talk me through it.
Just give me a number between 25 and 100, would you?
Between 25 and 100. I'm going to give you my age, 28.
28.
Don't look at me like that.
That's okay. No, I believe you. Very attractive woman. No, look, I'm going to fill in these numbers.
So for those listening, you've got a grid which is 4x4, and you're writing numbers from what looks to me randomly all over this board.
That's right.
And I've given you the
number. And I think I'm there.
You're very fast.
Now you gave me the number, your age 28.
I did.
Now look, if you look at the top line, Maria, 1 and 8 and 7 and 12 is
28.
28. This line here, 8, 11, 2 and 7 is 28. This line here, 10, 5, 10 and 3 is 28. This line here, 9, 4, 9 and 6 is 28. This line here, 1, 8, 10, 9 is 28. This line here, 8, 11, 5, 4 is 28. This line here, 7, 2, 10 and 9 is 28. And this line here, 12, 7, 3 and 6 is your number 28. The four corners, 12 and 1, 9 and 6 is 28. The diagonal, 1, 11, 10 and 6 is 28. This diagonal, 12, 2, 5, 9 is 28. I didn't even know you were going to say 28. The middle four, 11, 2, 10 and 5 is 28. These four, these four, these four, and these four, 10, 5, 4, 9 is 28. Even these two and these two, 1 and 8, 12 and 7 is 28. These two and these two, 10 and 9, 3 and 6 is 28. These two and these two, 8 and 3 and 9 is 28. These two and these two, 10 and 4, 7 and 7 is 28. I like to see Carol Vorderman do this. And this one, this one, this one, and this one. 1 and 7, 10 and 10 is 28. And this one, this one, this one, this one, 11, 7, 6 and 4 is 28.
28.
Your number.
Wow, I love that. I've seen that before, and I just absolutely love it. It blows my mind every time. Absolutely brilliant. So does that mean that your checkbook, as they say in America, but your balance statements are all reconciled and all your numbers match, and everything works for you?
No, I'm very bad at all that sort of thing. Actually, I'm quite good if it relates to my work, but outside my work, I'm not particularly methodical.
Okay, so you've got something now in front of you. What have you got there in front of you?
Well, time. I think time is very... Or the curtain's just fallen down. Does it matter? Is the light
No, we're
right?
okay. Your light is fine.
We're okay, Lloyd. We're okay.
But I think Yuri is there interfering with us, I think.
Thank you, Lloyd.
Yeah.
I expect Maria, like me and everybody else, you have a particular time of day which you look forward to. This is my grandfather's clock. I'm just going to send it. I'm just going to put it to a time. Put it to a time. Don't think of anything just yet.
Oh my goodness, I don't have a favourite time.
Okay. Well,
I'll just think of a time, shall I?
Just think of a time.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm thinking of a specific time where something happens every day.
No, actually.
No.
Clear your mind again. Clear your mind again.
Okay.
I'm going to call out the hours, then I'm going to call out the minutes.
Okay.
And you'll feel drawn to one of the hours. 1 o'clock, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You may not have felt anything. Did something sort of register more strongly than others, or shall I do it again?
Do it again. I don't think I'm doing
Do
very
it
well
again.
here. Okay.
I'm not quite sure what I'm trying to describe here, but you might feel, as I say the hours, drawn to 1 hour in particular. 1 o'clock, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or you might even think I'm trying to emphasize 1 hour. I don't know. Would you think of an hour now?
1.
1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to, the minutes, but I won't go 1 to 60. We'll do it in units of 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. What did you get?
20.
120.
Yes.
Now, there's no way really I could control that, is right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it's strange.
Oh, you're kidding me.
120. But you see, the reason why that may have worked, is when I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I said 1 o'clock. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 1 o'clock, as opposed to just the numeral 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, may have registered.
Right.
I don't know, but it's
right.
I think
But
it.
you didn't do anything on the 20. So it's interesting. So you're saying to me that you can actually lead people and persuade them. You know, I know you talked about probability, but can you persuade people to say something? Can you make
it's
that
not it's not guaranteed. It's a
Mm.
matter of picking the right person.
Mm.
I always, when I'm doing my shows, I always pick people who I can sense are interested. The more interested they are, and the more closely they're following you, the more chance I have of getting it right.
Fantastic.
I always avoid people who are only half listening. It's like going back to magic. You don't, the people who can work out magic tricks are the people who are not paying attention.
So let me ask you a
Because
question
they don't.
here. Let me ask you a question here about what we're going through at the moment. At the time of recording, we're all living in a virtual world.
Yeah.
How can you tell if somebody's really paying attention when they're on a screen and it's virtual and they might be very tiny? Can you tell?
Well, that's a very good point. It is more difficult. So I tend to do, again, we call it effects. I do effects which have a broad appeal, which don't require too much attention. So they will work when the attention span is perhaps low or there's distractions in the room. And I'm looking at people's facial expressions. I think they're called micro expressions, and body language. I know the word body language is overused, but I think for an entertainer, body language and micro expressions are very useful tools. I mean, I like it when I'm doing a conference and people are got one elbow on the table and they're leaning forward like this. I mean, that's great. Obviously, people with their feet pointing towards the exit avoid.
Yeah, fantastic. So listen, Graham. I mean, we've rapidly run out of time. I could talk to you forever because you know I love all this. So listen, if there's people listening and they want to start to learn about mind reading, what resources are there out there? Where should they start?
Well, they should watch everybody who's out there, who's available, who's working. I mean, it's a difficult time now. There are outlets, but there aren't the theatre shows, of course. There are books online. I think really, there's no way around it. You just got to, when things get easier, watch other people, find yourself a book, and it's a slow process. It won't happen overnight.
And are you open to taking apprentices, Graham? Are you, if somebody wants to learn?
I've been approached a few times, a dozen or so times, and I've hesitated. But I think I need a challenge. I mean, we all need a challenge. In fact, as I say, I'm in the middle of writing this book, which I'm really quite excited about. And yeah, I would take on
fantastic. Okay, well, if they paid you enough, Graham, they've heard it here first. They've heard it here first. So well, maybe the next generation. Yeah.
I do. I mean, I do love my work and I love doing it, but if I got paid, added bonus.
Graham, it's been wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for
Thank
sharing
you.
some lovely illusions with us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Lloyd. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.